Welcome back to Library Trust YouTube channel. Today's class will be learning how to make this beautiful crinoline, flare and pencil sleeve. It's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so to make this sleeve, I already have my basic sleeve ready like this. I use the scooper fabric to cut out my sleeve. So I'm going to be placing the crinoline flare on the basic sleeve. Okay, so what you just need to do now is to measure the head of the sleeve. You measure around that to get the radius you're going to use to cut out your flare. So here now I'm measuring what I have, and here I have around 15 inches. Okay, so I have around 15 inches there. To cut out the flare, I'm going to divide 15 inches by 6.28 to get the full flare. And if you want to work with half circle flare, you can divide by 3.14. That's constant. So now I'm working with this fabric. It's like an organza fabric. You can see it's a see-through fabric, but it's a bit thicker than organza. And I'll also be working with this decorative crinoline, so you can get this at art shop. Okay, so it's different from the regular crinoline because it has always has decorative structure. So you can see what we have, and it comes in different designs. So this is one. Some comes fuller than that. It comes with a lot of design. It's really beautiful. So you're going to be combining this with this see-through fabric so that the silver is just going to be showing on the fabric like this. You can see the effect this is giving us. So I'm going to just set this aside. So if you're working with, so I'm working with this red because that's what I have, but it comes in different colors, so you may just get the color of the exact fabric that you're working with. But because this is very close to the fabric as well, you can see that it's not so obvious that the color is different. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to fold my fabric into four so that I can cut out my full circle flare. So you first fold your fabric into two, then you fold into four. So now the radius you're going to work with is the 15 inches divided by 6.28, and that's going to give me around 2.5 or 2.25 thereabouts. So that's what I'm going to measure on my radius. And then for the length, I'm going to be working with the length of the crinoline that I have. So I'll just measure this crinoline, and then measuring it now, the length is 7 inches. So I'm going to cut out a flare of 2.5 inches radius and 7 inches length. I'll cut the flare now and then bring it back to show us. Okay, so you can see that I've marked out my radius. The fabric is shifting, so I just had to mark it off camera. I've marked my radius and also my length. So once you have that now, you're just going to bring in your scissors and then cut this out. So I cut out the length first, and I'm still going to hold on to it and cut out my radius. So after cutting out the radius, I'm going to open it out like this, and I'll open it and cut on one side. So this is what I have. Okay, so now the next thing is for you to bring your crinoline. So because of the folding, you can see some lines there, so you just iron it flat. Then after ironing it flat, you take it to the sewing machine and then use your crinoline to turn it like this. So I'm going to sew it on each round, and then I'm going to flip it to turn it over. So I'll go ahead and sew this now and then bring it back to show us what we have. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew it. You can see I sew it to the crinoline like this, and then I top stitched on the crinoline so that I'm not going to have any seam on my organza. So now when you flip it over, you can see that it is neatly turned now. So the next thing you need to do now is to place this crinoline to fit into this. Remember, the radius is smaller than the hem of the flare, so we have to place this crinoline to match up with the size of the crinoline, with the size of the radius of the organza. So you can see the way I'm pleating it. So I'm just going to pleat it here and there to get what I want. Okay, so if you don't want to pleat it, you can cut your crinoline you can cut your fabric in straight form so that your crinoline and your fabric is going to be on equal size. But I prefer to have mine in flare form. That's why I decided to cut it in form of a flare. So now I'll go to the sewing machine now, and then I'm going to pleat this to make up with the size that I have for the radius of my crinoline, after which I'm going to sew it to the sleeve. Okay, so I've gone ahead to pleat it. You can see my pleat now, it's in the size that I want it to be. I can see the crinoline showing, the crinoline design showing on the organza that I'm working with. So this is what I have so far. The next thing is to bring in my sleeve, and then I'm just going to sew this to the sleeve. So if you have excess, you just need to pleat it on it. I'm going to sew it on the sleeve like this before I close it up. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew it to the head of the sleeve. You can see now. So this is what it looks like. You can see how neat it is. Okay, and I also turned the side so that my crinoline is going to be inward. So crinoline is a bit sharp. You can burn the edges so that it's not going to hurt you. But the way I turned it, you can see it's neatly turned inwards as well. So this is the head of the sleeve. You can just weave it or you cover it up with your bias. Then the next thing is to close this up like this, and then I'll go ahead and sew in the underarm of the sleeve. So I'm just going to take it together now and sew it, turn it out, and then we'll take it to the mannequin to see what it looks like. Okay, so you can see the underarm is sewn as well. So after sewing it, all you just need to do now is to turn this out to the right side. So it may be a bit bulky, so you just try to do it in bits. Okay, so now I've turned this out, and this is what it looks like. You can give it a good press, and then I'm going to take this to the mannequin so that we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what the sleeve looks like. You can see the design of the crinoline showing like this, and this is the wrong side of the sleeve. So your crinoline is just going to show. So if you don't want your crinoline to show on the wrong side, all you just need to do is to cut two of your fabric, okay, so that you use them to turn each other, and the crinoline is going to be in between them. But leaving it like this is equally beautiful as we have seen. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.